Good morning. It is Wednesday, August 28th, and I haven't been out in the bee yards for a little while. Life's just kind of gotten in the way, just personal things going on, some health issues in the family. We're all good. Had some home projects we were working on and work, and just life sometimes just happens. But I'm out today. I'm finally pulling all of my honey supers, and I feel like I'm a bit behind. I've usually got this done 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I feel like I'm a bit behind. I'd like to get some treatments on as quick as I can and make sure these gals are set up for winter. But that's what I'm doing today, is just pulling honey supers and kind of going through the hives, making sure everything's looking pretty good. And hopefully things are okay. We haven't had a great honey season. At least I haven't had a great honey season. April was looking pretty good. May was a complete bust. June, July, and August have just been hot and dry. The last 2 weeks, we finally have been getting some rain, and that's the first rain we've had all summer long. And things have just been really just hot and dry. And when it's that way, the plants don't produce much nectar. The last 2 weeks have been pretty nice. I'm hoping I'm pleasantly surprised about how much honey's in some of these supers, but not going to hold my breath this year. It looks like it's going to be kind of a low year for me, but that's okay. It's the way it is. It's beekeeping. So we'll get in these hives, see what they're doing. I'm going to pull all my queen excluders while I'm in here, and I'm going to do some mite checks just to see where I'm at with mites and see how aggressive I need to get with treating. I would like to use formic, but we're still just a bit hot for formic. I may wait a week and see if things cool off a little bit and then throw the formic pads in. If not, I may have to get some Apiguard and use Apiguard. My other option, I guess, would be to use oxalic acid and blast them about, I don't know, every 4 or 5 days for 3 weeks or something, and see if that would knock the mite numbers down enough to be good. We'll see. Hopefully the mite numbers are okay. I usually come out of summer pretty good with mite counts. Because I requeen midsummer, all of my hives get a brood break right midsummer, which I really think helps with the mite control. And last year, when I checked for mites at this time of year, I really wasn't seeing much. So I'm hoping I'm in the same boat again this year. We'll see. That's one I don't want to be surprised on. You've got to get those mites under control at this time of year so that they've still got time to raise that winter brood. We're like I say, I feel like I'm a little late, but I think we can still do this. We've still got around here September and most of October that's still pretty warm. There's not going to be much for the bees to forage on after about mid-September, so that's going to really kind of shut down here in a couple of weeks. So I'll have to keep an eye on food stores, and I may end up giving them a gallon of syrup, and that's okay. So I'm going to get into these hives and get them going. Okay, I'll give you a quick rundown of what the plan is for the day. I'm using Honey Bandit and fume boards, so I'll pull the lids off and spray these fume boards and put the fume boards on top, and hopefully that drives the bees down out of the honey supers, and I can just pull the honey supers off. If not, I have a little battery powered bee blower. That was my early birthday present this year, so excited to see if that's gonna work. Hopefully that works really well. Got my smoker going, and then I'm going to, once I've got the honey supers off, I'm going to go in, pull the queen excluder out, and while I'm in there, I'm going to go down the brood nest, get a sample of bees for a mite check, and once I've got that, I'm going to give them a dose of strong microbials, super DMF, and that'll be the plan. Hopefully, if we can get in and out in reasonable time today, we can get all all 3 yards done and be done. That's the goal. Alright, here goes hive number 1. The lid. That off. And a little honey in there. It's not tons, but there is some. So I'm going to put that on. And I'm going to leave it just a little bit off center. Next one. And I can hear the bees just start to roar when I threw that on there. They hopefully don't like the smell of that. I'm going to check this middle hive right here, see how it's doing. For not tons of activity up here. I can see some honey here and here. So the outside looks like they've got some stores. Let's see if they're doing anything right here in the middle. Yeah, they are. They've got some brood right there. Eggs and larvae on this side. Eggs and larvae on that side. Let me check my notes to see if this queen is marked. Yep, she should be marked. This frame's mostly stored nectar, which is probably the syrup I gave them. Not nectar. Same there. Bottom box is looking pretty good. Maybe I can get enough sample off of these frames. I'm not seeing my queen. Last check for that queen. Don't see her there. Check this frame again for the queen. Go right back in. We'll do this. Mite checks are not near as hard as people make them out to be. Here's my bottle. Got the bees. Can go back in the hive. Lid on. Give them a good shake. And then I'll just let them sit for a minute while I do the rest of what I'm doing. Crack this box. box. We're going to get a bit of a pollen patty here. Super DMF. Move that over just a little bit. That goes back on. And they're going to get a gallon of syrup. Okay. Put these ladies back together now. I am done with them. Take my notes here first. See how they cleared that out. Excellent. Pretty well empty. Right there in my cart. So in my case, this third box I consider to be their honey super. And it's completely full. And population's looking pretty good. Let's see what we've got for any kind of brood. I'd still say there's some brood in that. That's exactly what I want to be seeing. Seeing pollen packed in around the sides and a brood area that's just completely solid. Not too shabby, I'd say. That's exactly what I want to see this time of year. I can see this frame is completely full of brood, capped. This frame is all capped. Can't see as much on that one. More food stores there. This one's all capped. Brood. This is why I like summer queens, because I get this kind of brood pattern late in the year, and you can't argue with that. So I'm going to take a mite count off of these ladies. If I can find one that's got a little bit of open brood, is what I like to use. Got some open brood on it. This one's perfect. So now I need to really check for my queen. This many bees, it gets a little bit hard to find the queen. Lots of open brood. Lovely. That's a perfect frame to take. Look at my notes real quick. She should be a marked queen. I should have her. Hey, I don't see her. Let's do another you can tell if you've got the right set of bees, if they're all just crawling in the bin. The ones that are flying off, those are the older bees. The ones that are just crawling around in the bin, those are the younger nurse bees. That's what we want. Last check for my queen. Seeing her. Don't see my queen. Let's get a half cup here. Half cup. Goes in. Swirl. Most of these bees can go right back in the hive. Works like that. Very well. That's that. You can go back on top. And at this point, usually I fold this back so that the bees can come out this upper entrance. But I'm going to start closing that off. And that's how it's going to be for winter. It's just like that. Alright. And that's pretty much what we're doing to every hive. This box has a little bit in it. This box looks to be that one's done. Okay, so just a quick recap on this yard. Pulled the honey supers and checked for mites. The honey supers were lighter than I'd hoped, and the mites were more than I hoped. So not great news, but it is what it is. So I've got to get some mite treatments on these really quick. I wish it was just a little bit cooler. I'd be using Formic and really hammer those mites. I'll have to go back and look at the weather and see what it's going to be like. And maybe I can squeeze it in there. If not, then I'll probably have to use Apiguard, which I'm okay with. I like Apiguard as well. But all in all, the bees actually look really pretty good. Some of these are setting up themselves just nicely for winter. They've got some good capped brood still. They've still got some good larvae and open brood, so they're still going. I see pollen coming in, a little bit of nectar, but not much, which is typical for around here. But the bees are looking pretty good. Just got to get those mite counts under control. So we'll go off to the next yard and see how we're doing. Okay, let me just give you a quick rundown on this yard. I've got 2 nukes over here on this side, and then there's 7 other hives. This has been my best yard this year for honey production. I came out and put an extra super on a couple of these about 2 weeks ago. Hopefully they've put some honey in them. 2 weeks ago there were about 4 fields around here, alfalfa fields, that were blooming, and I can see all but one of them has been cut. So I don't know how long they were able to forage off those, but hopefully they got a little bit of honey, and we'll get these taken care of, get these knocked back down to triples. These 2 nukes I'll feed a little bit, check them, make sure they're okay. And again, I'm going to check for mites and see where we're at. Hopefully this yard's doing a little better than the last yard. It's getting windy out here, which is typical for us in the afternoon, but got them all pulled. Wasn't too bad, except I had 2 hives. This one, let's see if I can find it. This one right here, and one of the other ones back here. And the queen got above the queen excluder and was laying up in the honey super, so I had to rearrange frames all over the place to push the brood back down and pull honey or empty frames back up, and it was just kind of a mess. So it wasn't the greatest. Mite count wise, these are a little better than the last yard. I'm seeing, I don't know, 4 or 5, maybe up to 8 mites per 300 bees. So this yard's a little better. The last yard was pretty much somewhere between 2 and 4%, except for the one that had about 10%. So I've really got to get some mite treatments on. Just going to have to watch the weather and see what I can do.